The initial plan for the Smartlands is to tokenize real assets, and we're focusing on property because generally people understand property. They understand what a shopping mall is, or a warehouse is, or a tower block, or whatever. One thing we have on the drawing board is to have an aspect of the platform, if you like, almost a separate platform to deal with small and medium-sized companies. In addition to my role as the non-executive chairman of Smartlands, I'm also the managing partner of Empire State Capital Partners, which is a Ukrainian investment bank. We have a division called Big U, which stands for Business Incubator Group Ukraine. This is an incubation structure similar to what you'd find in Silicon Valley, where we're working with a lot of young, early-stage tech companies, advanced product companies inside the country. Now, in common with all smaller companies, they have a demand for inward investment. Sometimes not very big. I mean, you might have a company which is worth a few $1 million. It needs to raise $300,000 to develop a product. Again, that's too small for an IPO. Historically, they've had to knock on the door and grovel to high net worth individuals who obviously want a large percentage stake in the company for the risk that they're taking. With our platform, these companies will be able to sell a small percentage of their equity to the general public through an initial coin offering, which will then give the people who buy it a fractional shareholding in that business. But the key point here is all of these companies will have been through the Big U format, which involves working with mentors. It involves working with successful business people who have already overcome those hurdles. And so we'll be working with companies that have good accounting, that have good management, that have a good business structure, that have a clear plan for the forward development of the company, and thus give the incoming investors a stronger opportunity of seeing a substantial rise in the value of that company. When Facebook started, there was a story of one investor who held 10% of Facebook. 10%, which he sold for, I think he sold it for $800. As it turned out, a rather silly thing to do, but that's the sort of level where, you know, in essence, we're talking about the smaller investors can come in and we'll be able to spread the shareholder base for these smaller companies amongst quite a lot of people. So there won't be one high net worth individual telling the company what to do. There'll be a huge pool of investors who have holdings in that company. So absolutely. We're not saying that every entrepreneur and every business is going to appear on the Smartlands token. They have to pass some pretty rigorous pre-acceptance standards. And one of the key ones is that they've spent at least 6 months going through the Big U format, so we know the management and all the structures inside the company are in place, and that they have a good chance in succeeding in whatever it is they do.